I have temporary lip fillers. It's just an insecurity of mine, and it's what I wanted to do. I'm just not ready to talk to reporters about my lips yet because everyone always picks us apart. Well, the color. Everyone thinks I use like one certain color. So I use like 6 different colors.
It is time to fess up, America. Most of you care more about a family led by a woman who became famous for an internet sex tape and her various siblings who have no real talent, save for whining at a high pitch that can only be heard by canines, than you do about who runs America in 2016 and beyond. We know. And we're here to dig into how we might be able to turn that need for refuse into a need for reason. Our guest is author of the fictional tale Taming the Tida, digging into the disenchantment America has with the political system and how perhaps to make it more palatable. Eslynne Smith joins us today. Eslynne, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Ed. I appreciate you for having me on. And the name of the book is Taming the Tida.
See, okay, because we gave it different. I'll pronounce it correctly. Thank you so much for correcting that.
No
problem. All right, because it looks like Tida, so there you go. All right, but let's get into this now. This is a fictional book that talks about a reality show, Who Wants to Be President? Please, Eslynne, stop thinking of common sense. You know that this would become the greatest single television show in the history of modern man because it's what America would actually watch.
I would watch it every single day. It would absolutely fascinate me to get to really know my politicians and feel like I know them as people and be able to trust what they're telling me. It's exciting. Couldn't you see this happening today on TV?
Not only could I see it happening, I could see it probably getting canceled after one episode because nobody would believe what actually goes on. They think that this is really phony. But in the book, how do you then take people and make them care about politics? Because that's the single biggest thing we're talking about here, isn't it?
It is. It's really important to get people talking about politics in our country today because we're just not engaging. We're seeing it with voter turnout. We're seeing it in every aspect of our lives. People are not interested in politics. We don't trust our politicians. And I took this as an opportunity to really get people engaged, getting them listening to our politicians on a weekly basis talk about what they really think about certain issues and giving the people an opportunity to vote them off at the end of the week if they disagree with what they said.
Oh, you got it. We have got to start working on this show right away because I can see great possibilities for this. Let's talk about, first of all, pop culture, because what we're talking about is a reality show. Pop culture. I mean, basically that's what it is. People are getting drips and drabs. They're looking at other people's lives. They're getting to live vicariously through other people. So then how do you use the reality show of politics in reality, what's happening today, in order to make it more palatable and get people interested? Give me an example.
Well, for an example, we could use an opportunity for a weekly reality show just to have our politicians, our potential presidential politicians, candidates who are going to be running in 2016, to talk one week specifically about what they really think about immigration, one week to really hear what they think about abortion, one week to really hear what they think about our tax problems and how we solve our problems, our education system, to actually give them an opportunity to give them unlimited, not necessarily unlimited speaking time, but undivided time to speak with us specifically and tell us what it is that they feel that they could do to actually change it. And our debates are interesting. They pit people against each other, but what I'm looking for is an opportunity to actually hear what these candidates think.
All right.
And
Let's take Hillary Clinton right now. There are so many things that we're talking about, so many different issues that she's involved in, so many gaffes, so many allegations. How would you then turn that? How do we use that in a reality sense then to start to bring some understanding to it? And I have to tell you, to make people see sometimes that there's a lot more going on there than actually the Clintons or anybody else and the Democrats would want us to see.
There's a lot more going on than any of us are actually seeing. And if you pay attention, you can see how they're tailoring their messages to us, so that they're telling us exactly what they want us to hear. They're pandering to us. They've been pandering to us for so long that I think people have stopped listening to them because they're not sure that they can believe anything that's coming out of any of our politicians' mouths. They tell us what we want to hear, and I think the truth is people want to know what each politician actually thinks. We need to be able to understand who it is that that we're electing, and we need to be able to count on them to follow through with the job that we've elected them to do.
Isn't it fair to say, though, that politicians might actually use this and they'll play it up and they'll play into it? Because if you give them this kind of a show and people seem to believe that it's real, aren't we really opening it up for politicians, much like the Kardashians or anybody else, really to just be completely phony about what they do, to try and make people believe that they are actually real, honest people?
Well, but we have that opportunity with reality TV show. We get to see people for who they really are. And they always give us such great things to watch in reality TV when they have their little meltdowns, and we get to see who they truly are. And I think that would be a great thing to be able to see with politicians, because they do such a good job of giving us the face that they want us to see. It would be nice to see some reality from them and to know who we're actually voting for.
All right, 35 seconds left here. Tell us why the next president, in your opinion, has to be a woman.
I think our country is ready for a woman, but it can't just be any woman. It has to be the right woman. And there's a lot to be said about the spouse that the president is going to bring along. And I think that when we women get an opportunity to finally have a female president, we deserve to give our men the kind of quality role model that we have enjoyed in our first ladies. It's one of the reasons why we like Hillary Clinton so much. We admire and respect our first ladies. We've been very fortunate to have strong female role models. And when we get our first female president, because we will get our first female presidents, we deserve to give our man a quality role model to follow. And for me, Bill Clinton is not a quality role model.
10 seconds,
my husband.
10 seconds, fair to say that you wouldn't allow the Kardashians to have a vote?
I would absolutely allow the Kardashians to have a vote.
Is that a yes or a no? I missed it.
Yes.
Okay, you would. Oh my goodness.
Of course.
We got to be real careful. We may have to set that vote aside a little bit, just wondering if they've really looked at it. Want to remind everybody, the book is called Taming the Tida. It is a fictional book, but there might be some real fact in it. Eslynne Smith, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure. I hope we get a chance to see this one made.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care. We continue.